Hi everyone, it's Hilman from SerpApi. Today I'll show you how to scrape news results from the Google Search News tab using Python. We will see how to filter news by a specific time range, narrow results down to a particular news source, and finally export everything neatly into CSV file. Let's dive in. Make sure to register at serpapi.com to get your SerpApi key. We will use the Google Search API engine and using the TBM filter to filter the results from the news tab. Make sure to install the request package since we will perform an HTTP request, and also export your SerpApi key under this name or name it whatever you want, so we can use it from our main file later. Now let's go to the text editor. We will import the OS and also the request package. We will also prepare the JSON method to prettify the results. First, let's import the SerpApi key that we have exported through the terminal. We'll prepare the parameters. First, the API key, which we grab the value from here, and then we set the engine to Google and set the TBM to NWS or news and provide any keyword you want to search for. Next, we will perform a GET request to this domain, serpapi.com/search, and provide the parameter here. Next, we will store the JSON results in the response variable and using JSON dumps to prettify the results. Let's run the program. And after a few seconds, you should see here the information or the results of our search. We can see the people also search for section. We can also check the news results here, which includes the position, link, title, source, date, snippet, and thumbnail. Let's say we are only interested in the news results and only for a specific fields. I will add a loop here to print only the title, date, and source. Of course, you can change it to whatever you need. And as you can see here, we can see the title, date, and source as the output of our program. Now, let's filter the results by a specific time range. For example, maybe we only want news from the past week or the last 24 hours. In order to filter the search results by a specific time period, we can use the TBS parameter and include these options. For the past hour, KDR:H, 1024 hours using D for day, W for week, M for month, and Y for year. We are also able to set the custom range using this TBS CDR:1 and also set the rest of the specific date you want to use here. So let's say, for example, we are interested for the past week. I'll set the parameter here, wrap it on a quote like this. Now let's compare the results. So previously we have this recent news. Now if we rerun the program, we should see the information is ranges from the first week. Next, let's narrow it down by the news source. So if you only want results from, say, BBC News or Times, here is how to do it. Now to filter a specific news source, we can add in the query, just like when we are searching through Google website directly. We can add the site option here and add any website you are interested in, for example, bbc.com. And now we are only see BBC News on our news results here. So far, we are only scraping the first page of results. Let's see how to loop through all the pages until the end. First, let's clear up our search to a basic search like this. By default, we only get maximum 10 results for our Google search, but we can adjust this by adding num parameter and set it to maximum value to 100. You can see per request, we are scraping more data, which is maximum up to 100 results. So we've successfully set the num parameter to return 100 results per page. Next, we need to perform a loop to paginate the results by adjusting the start parameter. So the start parameter is the offset. We can start from 0 for the first page or omit it. And for the next page, 100, 200 for the third page, and so on. So instead of requesting it like this, I'll add a while loop here, prepare a news results, the start variable, so it can be adjusted dynamically inside this loop. While true, we will set the start to the default start is 0, and we will perform a similar request like before and return the response, return the search results in the response variable. We will check if the news results is available on the response, since it's a sign for us to stop or break the loop, otherwise it will run infinitely. And if it's available, we will add the response news results to this variable that we've prepared previously. And of course, we will need to adjust the start parameter so we don't get the same results on each request. Next, we will store the response. Finally, you can print it in a nice format like this. We can also output the total news results to see how many news we got. So here, as you can see, it prints all the results we expect. And here we got the total news results, almost 606 pages here. So we have successfully paginate all the results through this loop. Finally, let's export the results into CSV file. So you can easily work with the data later or open it either on Excel or Google Sheets. We can just put a comment first, this to print statement, since we don't want to print it directly, but instead we will prepare a new file with write permission. We will add this as a header row. It depends on what column you are interested in, but for sure we will need to loop the news results and include all the values you mentioned here on the row as well. Of course, we need to import CSV first, and it's done. You can see the news results in a CSV format here, including the position, link, title, source date, snippet, and the thumbnail. That's it, everyone. I hope it was helpful. If you want to learn how to scrape different search engines using a simple API like this, make sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.